Well, hey everybody, this is Jared and Taylor, and the first thing I would ask
Hi.
you to do is to subscribe to my channel and please like and comment. We have something that we need your help with. Taylor, can you tell me how you're feeling right now?
Bummed.
Yeah. Felt like you got one of them unicorn jobs that we talk about. I want first thing I want you to do is tell me about Preprogen LLC and what they you said that you have your resume on all these websites trying to look for something to do
Yeah.
that you actually can get behind. Because like you've been saying, for those wondering like, wait, what's Taylor looking for a job for? Um, so the new job's a lot like the last job. And that's not what Taylor wants to do with her time, and that's fair. I'm, hey, look for something else. Find something else, right? This opportunity at Preprogen, I want you to speak first specifically on what you felt like your job duties were going to be and how like motivated you were to, I really want to do that. Tell me what your job duty was going to be.
It was just like data entry. And
Right, but
she told me about some accounting software. So I'm assuming it would be like putting in numbers and like making sure invoices match. I don't know. I've never done data entry,
okay,
but
okay,
I'm
okay.
comfortable around
Calm
the
down,
computer.
calm down, calm down. My
Ew.
question
Don't talk
was,
to me like
what
that.
does
I'm
the
fine.
company doing?
Oh,
What
the
is
company, they
what
do
is the
that
company doing?
pad kit. So what it is supposedly an in-home cervical cancer test.
Okay.
So like, because the test for cervical, it's very invasive. I had to have a colposcopy once, and I was traumatized. I still, if I have to have another one, I'm going to ask for good drugs because they didn't give me any drugs last time. Drugs
Okay.
make it
Okay.
happen.
So Taylor got a text message earlier this week.
I think it was
Um
Wednesday. What after Tuesday? Because I had been applying for jobs on Tuesday and looking around, and yeah.
and so a couple of days ago she gets a text message that Preprogen LLC, a company of two
So
to ten
I
employees.
got contacted by a recruiter, which
Okay.
I'm on. I have several recruiters that email me regularly, text me
Hmm.
because I have my resume out there. I have it on multiple different websites. Um, yeah.
But what I really want to hit at is that the mission of the business is what sort of made it be like the job duty doesn't matter. I'm behind what the company's doing. Is trying to
I like what it is. Yeah.
put these at home cervical cancer screening tests into people's hands is like the company's mission, right? And
Or
and,
women's
and I'm not
hands.
keep in mind this is not me beating up on Taylor. That's not what this is. Okay. But I want to point out. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. And I don't mean no disrespect, so don't take it like that, Taylor. Everybody
Okay.
else needs to know this, right? So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay.
You're not.
So when I Google Preprogen, okay, and this is on
It's
a
Preprogen LLC.
that's fine. We can even put
Okay.
in LLC, dear. Okay. When I go to and so this is on a like a private browser,
Right.
okay? And when I look through here, you see it about halfway down the search page for the business, it wants you to look at a different company. That's the first thing that gives me pause. Think about if a company is supposedly started in like 2017, right? I think is what you told
Mhm.
me. For them to have been in business for 6 years, and when I literally Google the business name, where's your Better Business Bureau? That didn't pop up. Like you go right down through here, and the first thing you see in the middle of the first page of a search query is related companies.
Which that's a
That
company that they own or that owns
that
them
gives
or
me
something.
pause. And then from there,
Sure.
uh, I would say not a high enough percentage of the early links in the search for the business actually belong to the business. And if you kind of go through here, you can kind of see it's on this first page. This shows 39 results for a business. This gives me pause. The lack of volume of information about the business when I search for it that doesn't belong to the business. Like, where's your social media? Okay.
They have a
And
Twitter. and a Facebook.
Less than 40 followers for a company that's trying to give women in-home cancer
Right.
screening
I had
tests.
never heard of this company, and that's so I was
Okay.
like,
Okay.
yeah.
So no, again, I don't mean no disrespect. That's not why I'm
We get it, Jared. You got to
okay.
tell me. I told you
No, no,
so
no, no,
because you
no,
were
no.
telling
That's
me.
not the purpose of this. This is for everybody else.
Right.
When you go to look up a company, what I want to see, and I'm going through school for this, so there's a purpose for this. I don't want this to happen to nobody else. What the fuck? So
Where
when
were they
you
located?
so that was one of the early problems that we had is
Delaware.
that I found that this was a Delaware company based out of Oregon, and when you search for them, they're located in New Jersey, right? So keep in
Montvale.
mind
That's what it is. Montvale.
that's not all that shocking, right? That a company is headquartered in Delaware, which is a tax haven, doing business out of Oregon, a tax haven, and then based out of Maryland. Well, that could just be where the CEO lives, right? So none of those things are necessarily setting off the red alarms, right? Nothing too alarming yet, right? Just a light trail of evidence, right? There wasn't go to our Instagram, go to our YouTube, go to our Twitter, go to our whatever. Those things that they own that they would want to push to the top of search results, those don't exist, right? And you get about halfway down that search, and those links that they're taking you to talk about this company are questionable links, like Authentica, right? Like think about that link. That's a low quality search result for we just typed the company name in. Now, when I actually
Okay.
looked at the company, there's only 2 to 10 employees. So again, I'd be real nervous trying to get a job at a company that's been in business for 7 years and only has 10 employees. That would be setting off
Uh,
alarm bells, right? So the rub, like what went wrong, right? How does this happen, right? Well, first of all, Taylor, you just got done telling us that this was a data entry job,
yeah.
offering you $30 an hour.
Right.
Okay.
Which
To work from home. Hey, you're worth it. Okay. But here's the problem. Okay. If you asked 100 people looking for a job, if they felt like getting paid $30 an hour to do data entry that's a lot. I might actually apply for that. 100 people are going to be like, I would rather do that than what I'm doing. Okay. So just so you know,
right.
everyone's fighting on that fucking text message. This is happening to lots of people. So what you should be feeling some type of way about is that this didn't just happen to you. How do you think a business running this scam stayed in business 7 years?
Well, I don't know if they even know that there's something like this going on.
So what
But
I
no,
would
I
be
got the offer letter for the job, and it has
yes. So it's an offer letter, and they say, for keep in mind, only communicating via text. She has not
no.
Zoomed with
This was
anyone.
we were in
Have you talked
Teams.
to anyone on the phone? No,
No,
had talked to anyone on the phone. That's sus as fuck. Okay.
but like
And then
this job currently that we have,
yeah.
I didn't talk to anybody on the phone to get started. It's all
Oh
been through Teams.
yeah, they have webinars and shit. I get what you're saying. The
Like, yeah.
faceless company though is what we're effectually talking about here. Like this company really didn't have a face to you, right?
Mhm.
So super duper opportunity, and they go so far as to say we're going to pay for your office equipment. We're going to send you a check, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that made me suspect about that was when the woman started talking about, or the person, let's just make that sexless, that doesn't matter.
Kristen.
That Kristen, when she said something about you cutting around the check so that you could deposit it mobily, might just be one of the dumber things I've ever fucking heard in my life. And so as a result, that like what the fuck are we talking about? They sent Taylor a $30 an hour data entry job and then got her a check for $2,500.
I still have it right here, guys. It's right here. It's
Okay. So we got scammed the fuck out of, but we gotta explain it. We gotta get this out. Like people need to fucking know because I can feel that you really wanted this job. That's part of the reason that I'm so upset where I'm like, we got to recover because we're about to get fucked. Okay.
no.
Here's the problem.
We have it stopped at the bank. The bank.
Taylor
You need to
Taylor
contact your bank.
deposited the check. Okay.
Hmm.
And the first thing that happened this morning is a rough conversation where they were trying to get you to send a vendor $1,000 out of our bank account.
Right.
Okay.
Their money. This is
Their
their
money,
money.
right?
It's their money.
They
So I'm
gave
like,
us
yeah, let's do it.
$2,500. They're telling her to transfer 1,000. The math is still mathing. Taylor's thinking I got $1,500 to buy the rest of the products. that they want her to have in her home office. I can tell you, as somebody who has run someone's business and tried to start my own business, that I would rather possess all those items and mail those to you,
Which is
because that
fair.
is cheaper than giving you
But
2,500 bucks
if
and
you
you
think
spending
about,
less.
if you think about,
Listen.
if you think about that level of employees, that would make sense. Like, yeah, we don't keep that stuff. Go through this vendor, but it should have been like
Walmart
Office
would do
Max
that.
or something.
Babe, just so you understand, Walmart has the money to do that. Okay, Walmart could just tell you, we don't give a crap about your computer, whatever. Like, it don't matter what you use, right? But a small business should have computers, and they should be sending you monogrammed mouse pads, because it's cheap marketing. That's a reason. That's 101 why they do that. Okay, so
Okay.
the fact that they gave you the money before you'd ever done a bit of work is a little sus. But more importantly, the check cleared. So our account has $2,500 in it, and then you tried to send a Zelle and it got declined.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what that person's name is that you were trying to send money to? And I'm again, Taylor, do not take this personally. This is not a slight on you. We need to explain what happened to everyone else so we can get this message out.
So
So
this
this doesn't happen to
is,
anyone else.
let me go back through all of the
It sounded
messages.
Russian to me, if I may.
The receiver's name, Vadim, Vadym,
Vadim.
Babichenko, Babichenko.
Okay. So now we had gotten our Zelle account suspended. So we had to get that back unlocked. That's how I get paid. So that has to be unlocked. That's taken care of. Okay. Had to change
Well, and
username,
we were both,
password, all that stuff.
I've been using his user ID to log into the bank for years
And I
because
don't think
mine
anybody
never
ever said anything.
worked.
Nobody ever
Yeah.
said anything. So again, I'm not mad at you. That's not what this video is about. What this video is about is that we got scammed, and the reason, first of all, the reason we found out is because of PNC Bank.
So thank you, PNC.
PNC Zelle said this
Cash App.
this
We tried
transfer
to do Cash
sucked.
App, and they're like, no, we're not letting you put that much money on your account, your Cash App account. And I'm like, but why not? And then I kept trying. It's like, nah, nope.
Yeah, Taylor, for the record, Taylor was laundering money. is effectively
No,
Taylor was washing dollars. And that's
no.
exactly what this is a scam. Is what they're doing is
Hang on, but wait.
they give you the money, you put it in your bank account, they tell you to send it somebody, and let's just say on the off chance that $1,000 transfer goes through, and then they put a stop payment on that check. Now we get a fee. That's just what the person was telling us this morning. Like, you got to change all
Right.
these parameters on your account, or when that check bounces. So that check is, for the record, what's really troubling about this is that the check cleared, right? And the guy tried to kind of be like, you deposited it mobily, it's available instantly. That's a load of
It
bullshit.
wasn't, because it wasn't.
It
Right.
wasn't. It cleared. So for the record, in the same conversation where I praise PNC and Zelle, hey, that's kind of suspect. That check cleared. That check is in my bank account right now, and it's gonna bounce.
Sit there for 10 days while
They're
they
saying they're gonna
investigate.
investigate it. It's gonna take 10 days.
Minimum.
So I'm gonna have to basically work like 12-hour days just to hope we have enough money in there when that happens, right? And we hopefully have avoided a bank fee for depositing a bad check and all that shit. So we had to spend a bunch of time on the phone with a bank to unfuck ourselves, right? And then more importantly, we immediately realize that, man, this is taking a toll on us, right? And what do we decide to do? Create a message to tell other people, hey man, there's this company right here and this opportunity type right here that is very suspect. Please don't get caught up in this, because it happens to the best of us. Think about what I'm talking about. This isn't a video about me insulting my wife. This is a video about this company, Preprogen, right here. Pro women, pro health, is very pink and purple, very women focused. Hey, I'm about it. I want that shit to be real, Taylor. Real talk. I want to own this shit, right? You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
hey, that's not a bad business. But what this is a fucking scam. So this company probably isn't looking to grow that much because if you think about it, their goal is to basically give someone a test, right?
Right.
To see if
Well,
they got
it
cancer.
would go through
How you make a money?
insurances.
How you making money? Right?
It
Sure,
would be billed through insurance,
sure.
like
So
all
it's
healthcare
restricted to people that have healthcare, right?
insurance. Yeah.
It's tough. So that would be a big question mark. Okay. So
But anyways,
what is a lot more believable is a business that wants to give that away and is a 501c3. That for the record. And doing cancer research and just trying to gather data and all that bullshit. You'd just be much better off as an ethical 501c3. You probably make more money, probably have better investments, better quality investments than you. So I just want to make this video to shout out everybody else like out there struggle busting, right? Trying to find something that some company that's got a mission you can get behind that you can actually make a respectable amount of money. Hey, Taylor, $30,000 an hour by 40 hours a week.
$30,000
Thirty
an
dollars an
hour.
hold on, I'll get it right. $30 an hour at 40 hours a week is $1,200 before taxes, which is about 60K if you work for 50 weeks. Okay. So I just want to point out that something like a data entry job is not worth $60,000 to most businesses, more specifically, a small company of 2 to 10 employees that has only been in existence for like 7 years. Like they don't have the financial backing to pay someone 60K to do data entry. That don't float boats, right? They would need to be a 501c3 and be getting large amounts. I mean, if you're going to pay 60K for data entry, you got to have $500 million for the board to allow you to pay somebody that amount of money. Like it's just something to think. It's abstract now, right? It's happened, but we want everyone else to understand. Like, first of all, Malats ain't nothing to fuck with. Like, think about the amount of people struggling like we are, looking for an opportunity like that, gets that fucking check, and bills are due, Taylor. And now they're spending 500 to 800 of that and thinking like, what I'm gonna do is here's the master plan. I'm gonna buy the computer they want me to buy, and then I'm gonna tell them I got all the other shit, right? And I'm gonna pocket that 15, and this is gonna be fine. Like people think they're playing a game with a company that cuts you the check and can add a stop payment and can force your bank to investigate and make those funds unavailable within 10 days. Like think about the volume of people that you could catch for $500 to $1,000. They'll ignore phone calls from 1-800 numbers, so they're not answering that phone call from their bank, right? So we want to get this message out to everybody else, like, hey, this sucks, right? This this is going to make our life more difficult. But rather than like go concave, right? We want to make sure everybody else knows that, like, hey, if it feels too good to be true, it most certainly probably is.
Man, yeah.
And it's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow. But more importantly, you just don't want to see that happen to somebody else. God, please no, right? Because the problem with not sitting down and not making this video and getting it out to the world is that it will happen to someone else and they're gonna get away with it. Like this time we might be okay, right? But the next person, they just make that money off because remember, they give you money and then you send it back to them effectively, right? Because that Vadim Bibichenko,
Well, but then the second time when she's like, "Did you call the bank?" and do not make the Zelle payment to that receiver anymore. So she was changing who that was, and then I was like, "Yes, I did." The bank told me that this is a fraudulent check, so I need to talk to somebody, and that was over an hour ago and nothing. She's read it. It shows me that has read it on Teams.
okay. So again, like I said, I don't mean no
So this
disrespect
is
to you. This
Kristen, Krysten Bridge, Bridge. I was contacted by the first person was Allie Aly Hopkins Hopkins from phone number 1-680-223-8479.
and you've got text message threads and you've got
Teams
Teams
thread.
chats and you have all these people's phone numbers documented. So if anybody needs this information, right? because what's most important to me is that this stops. Not that we recover. We are going to recover.
Yeah,
But
we're gonna be
the
fine.
next person might not have that happen for them, and it may cause any amount of things happen because of finances.
So when Kristen was asking me about
Yeah, that's something I want to go before we stop recording. Here's what I want to know. When did you realize, man, this is a scam? Like when at what point during those conversations, more specifically, because you've been talking to them since Wednesday, Taylor. That's why I'm asking. Like at what point in your relationship with any of them people did you go, what the fuck? That's suspect.
so when this morning she
Not
asked
until this
me
morning.
to go to, is there a store close to you, like
It was like a
Target,
list.
Lowe's,
Yeah.
Kroger, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, 10-11
7
to get
11.
right, but she said
But
10,
what
11.
was she gonna have you go buy this morning, Taylor?
So she hang on. And I said, she asked me if I had those. I said yes. She said, which is closer to you and how many minutes will it take for you to get there? I said, okay, this does seem sketchy
This
now.
seems sketchy
What am I
now.
getting from a store? I have several of those options within a couple of miles from me, but what am I going in there to get?
Activation cards?
So then hang on, sketchy. I'm trying to make this easy for you. You've nothing to be worried about, or don't you feel comfortable in heading out to get the activation items for your equipments? I
Activation
said,
items.
what activation items exactly that I could get at 7-Eleven? And then her response, your computer is a MacBook, and that's an Apple product. We also have other items. With your debit card, you'll be required to purchase activation cards that will be sent and used by the vendor to download and install software into your MacBook and other equipments. Kindly head to 7-Eleven and let me know when you're there, okay? I said, activation cards? What are those? It seems like it will actually be easier for me to go directly to the vendor. Can I reach out to this Vadim? Like that person, she told me. And she said, Vadim is one of the receiver, Taylor. We can wait till Zelle goes through since you don't feel comfortable in going out. I'm like, so wait, Vadim is not the vendor that I was
That right
paying?
there makes me feel like it's an AI.
Yeah.
So it made the presumption that you weren't comfortable. Where did you
Well,
state that?
I never said I was uncomfortable, just asking what an activation
Yeah.
card is.
So
I have never
you never
heard of one of
it
those.
made a presupposition. It's almost like it was
Right.
scripted to do that, right? Kind of predicting human feedback, right? Remember, half of all people are stupid and the other half are even dumber, right?
So then I
So
just said, she goes like, that's why I asked you to head to the store so you can see the one you'll be purchasing, Taylor. The company is, and then she explains the company again. I'm like, I know what the company is. I said, so I went to the CVS website, the
the bot
Kroger
started
website,
over.
and the Meyer website and searched for activation cards,
Yeah.
and nothing pops
Activation
up.
items. We want to
So
make
I,
sure because
I looked for activation cards because, yeah. I said,
activation
so I'll
items.
call Zelle after 9. I said, okay. She said, that makes sense too. I believe
So
we
what
should try
happened?
Zelle again.
Here's one last question I have. What happened when the payment got kicked?
What
Like
do you
what
mean?
interaction did you have with them after the payment to Vidium got clicked? I just want to make sure that we got that on wax. Like what happened when you text them and say, hey, that Zelle to Vadim did not go through?
So she had me check to make sure that the funds were available.
Yeah.
Gotta go to Zelle. I said, so I was locked out. So I had
Okay.
to go to the bank. And then like she was just in a hurry. So I was like, I have to call after 9. And she said, okay, no problem. Since Zelle is not going through, alternatively, she switched to Cash App. And I was like, fine, whatever. This isn't my money. Yeah, okay. So then Cash App, she was like, hey, add $1,000 to your Cash App balance to provide me with your screenshot. And I'm like, it's not letting me add cash to my Cash App balance. And it wouldn't. I tried to add 1,000. I tried to add 100. It let me add $10 one time. So she said, oops, I believe we should try plan B method, which I believe is easier. I said, what's plan B method? And that's where we go to the store and get activation cards from 10/11 for my
You know what? You
MacBook.
know what I bet that they were gonna get you to do?
Buy prepaid debit cards.
Buy prepaid debit cards.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how to wash the money. Like, how do you give someone the money and then it has to leave their account into something that you can also take from them, right? A Visa debit card at a gas station. And if you think
Mhm.
about it, that's again, this scam's probably not working against people that don't have to go clock in and work somewhere and can't handle this right now, right?
Right.
Hey, I gotta be at work, right? So we want to make this video. And again, I want to make sure everybody knows I'm not making this video to make fun of my wife. That is not why I'm doing that. I'm doing this because I think this is a scam that's going to keep happening.
But trust, this is the most embarrassed I have been since my fly was unzipped the first day of 7th grade.
She did ask me to, can you leave my office so I can just cry?
Yeah, I just wanted to cry for a minute. Like,
all right, man. Like the
like
thing
it
about
was definitely a unicorn. Yeah.
yeah, good company, good mission. You go to their website, it's nice and clean. Like it's not a big company. They're not asking you to
I
deal
don't
with
have to talk to
people.
people. Like,
You're at some point you're just gonna have to realize that you have a gift of gab. Like you're really good with
I
people,
don't.
and the fact that you like aren't willing to talk to people, it's like, babe, you have your greatest gift. You're just denying. So it's okay. I'm just helping you realize that. The moral of this story is that usually if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And
Yeah.
where them sending, and again, this is not a competition.
But like you
Or
told
it's
me,
a little
I sent it
sus
to you
they
and you were like,
cut the
yeah.
check so we deposit it mobily, and it was like you're taking a picture of a check. You're just gonna put it over the image of the check. What the fuck? We don't need to cut
Right.
anything, right? That's where I was just like, like
I was thinking
red
maybe
flag.
other banks. I was thinking maybe it's because other banks have issues and people do the whole paper or something. I
But
don't know.
I also want to make sure we point out that when Zelle, like they shut down Zelle, as it refers to our PNC bank account, and I had to go in and change everything this morning. And the person said something that I just want to make sure we also talk about.
What?
Uh, the person, and we already did, so we are rehashing, but to close and with a purpose. Uh, the
Okay.
person we talked to this morning from like PNC Zelle said that the check that you deposited was
He knows I'm
available
upset.
immediate. No, available immediately. And it's like
Right. And it wasn't.
it wasn't available immediately.
No.
So it's like that person in their role playing defense now is
Didn't
saying like,
know
you
they're
know what I mean? It's just I just want
yeah.
to make sure that a little sus. Um,
Well, that was PNC.
because they were telling us like we're shutting down your account. This is fraudulent. Do you know this person? And it was just like, well, no, we don't know that, but
We don't
by
know that
name
vendor.
Babachenko. No, I don't know who that is. That's supposed
It's
to be
not a vendor.
the vendor that's going to get Taylor her computer for her new job.
And
So,
then
like I
it's not
said,
the vendor.
it's
It's
writing a thread of believability.
yeah.
Like they've got a thread of believability, but now it's been an hour since you heard from somebody. You've
I
called the
asked to
bank.
speak with somebody
You called
with
back to
that person.
PNC, right? And
Oh yeah, PNC.
you were
They have
trying
to.
to say what do we do about this 2500, and they said it's gonna get investigated. It's probably getting removed in 10 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, hashing out the details. It's
It could
elaborate.
take, they said it could take up to 45 business days, but no less than 10.
Makes me want to leave PNC. But we're gonna put this on all forms of social media. We're gonna tag
Preprogen.
Preprogen. We're case it in fraud and job scam, and I you got all the evidence in the world. It's not like you're standing there holding your dick. You know what I mean? Like you actually
Well, I
have
don't have one.
names and messages and threads, and you've got
Check.
those. That's what I mean, Taylor. It's not like it's air, right? It's not like all that you did was over the phone either.
Kill
So
me.
that is also suspect too. Like if you're doing a lot of business over the phone when you're starting a job, that's a little suspect. There needs to be some kind of blend of that. They need to kind of evaluate
Well,
your
I'd be
ability.
less suspicious if it was. Well, no, I'd probably have been more suspicious faster if it was all over the phone,
Yeah,
because that way
that's
I
what I
don't
just
have
said.
anything.
Yeah,
Was it?
it
Oh,
would be super suspect if all of your early transaction with a company when you're onboarding is over the phone. That would be suspect too,
because you don't have any
right?
proof.
They need some blend of that, right? But
Yeah.
again, it's important that we point out like this is an elaborate, sort of unbelievable, believable scam, right? Like
It's a
there's no way
unicorn
you're the
job.
like Taylor, real talk. There's no way you're the only fucking 20, 30 something person in the United States looking
Yeah,
for a golden opportunity, can get behind the company mission, pay is absurd. Like it looks like a really good op, right? And where it starts to go off the fucking rails, right? And you acknowledge that you got to get in front of it, right? You don't want to be behind it because then you're watching it on CNN, and you're like, oh damn, that happened to us, right?
right.
So hey, uh, like, comment. If you got questions, ask them.
If you know of a
Share this
job
with other.
opening,
Yeah, Taylor obviously needs
you
a
know, that I don't
job.
have to work with people. I don't have to talk to people. I can just do my own thing. Like
Anyway,
a set thing. Sorry. Yeah. Anyways.
I love you.
Mhm.
And again, share this message. It's important that other people know that these types of scams exist, and we don't want it to happen to anyone else, especially like someone we love or know, right?
Yeah.
So that's where my brain went as soon as we realized, like, oh fuck, this sucks. Like, gotta post a message about that. Can't just let that go by. So have a good rest of your day, everybody.